Well, I am 40. Today I turn 40 years old.
Who would believe it? You haven't aged a day.
40 is the new 30. Or in the case of Gen Z, if you're 22, then you look like 40. Why is that, by the way? Why does the Gen Z age like milk? Anyway, in this video, I'm gonna share some life lessons I've had along the way. I've thought lately a lot. I mean, it's just a birthday, right? It shouldn't matter. But when you ever turn like 20 or 30 or 40, or maybe probably, especially when you turn 50, you think about life. You stop and you pause and you reflect, and it's like, what have I learned? And while you shouldn't care at all what I've learned or what do I think, these videos or posts on Reddit and Quora, I think, are very helpful because in a few minutes you learn someone's greatest life advice, or at least part of it. And in this video, I hope to explain to you some things I've learned and you hopefully benefit from them without having to make my mistakes. Now, before I get to the exact advice about things I've learned, I think it's more helpful to look at life as in phases. Because what doesn't really matter if I'm 39, 40, or 41. It's more or less the same. Obviously, within every person's life, there's big years, and those big years can happen at any point. You know, like the famous Michael Jordan year at the 32, or the Jesus year at the 33. But there's often like random years where big things happen. Someone sadly dies, you change careers, you move towns, you meet the love of your life, first child is born. Those are big years, they can happen any point. But I think if you zoom out a little bit, there's a lot of common threads between people around the life phases. And I think that in each life phase, not everything is equally important. So if I give you life advice as I'm turning 40, and you're 20, you probably shouldn't care about what I think in 40 because you're not in the same life moment. So before I get into the specific lessons I've had, I just want to highlight some of the things I've thought from my own kids, what matters when you're from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and 30 to 40. 0 to 10, I think you should just be outside a lot.
I said take it outside!
There are outdoor kids living in an inside world, and that's killing them slowly, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Nothing incredible happens on a screen. By the way, probably true also when you're older, but especially when you're a kid. So I think from 0 to 10, the only goal you should have is to be outside as much as possible. From 10 to 20, you are more conscious about what's happening. 0 to 10, or at least 0 to 5, you're probably completely unaware, and you'll forget most things from 5 to 10. You might remember really well how it made you feel, but you're not gonna remember the details. Versus from 10 to 20, you're gonna remember a lot of details. As long as you don't die, it's all good.
I can get behind that, but what's your plan?
Don't die.
Okay, understood, but beyond that.
Don't die.
Don't die isn't the plan. It's a general demand of living.
Just as long as you don't do anything irreversible, getting in jail or something like that, you're probably golden. I feel like people stop their childhood 10 years too early. You're expected at 10 to be an adult. And I think the prefrontal cortex is not ready for that. And like, life is too short anyway. Like, enjoy the time when you're a child. Don't put too high of an expectations. I think not dying or doing something irreversible is plenty high of a goal for a teenager. So just keep that as the North Star and let everything else come as is, and not put too much high expectations in yourself or kids, if you have kids that are between roughly the ages of 10 and 20. By the way, if I look back to my teenage, what I assume even now is more intense, is that there's a lot of pressures that kids put them on themselves. And especially in like middle school, high school, with fashion, clothing, who's trendy and cool and what's going on, and your body's changing and you're insecure. Like, there's plenty of pressures to go around. I don't think you should put more on yourself anyway or into your own kids. 20 to 30, I think you should just go hard in the paint, crash the boards. A lot of sports analogies here in America. But you just try as many things as you can and work hard on them, and don't be afraid to fail. Almost better if you fail. Just, you don't necessarily yet know what you want to do in life, or most 20 to 30 year olds don't. And if they're very high conviction that I want to do X, I'm always a little suspicious. I'm like, is this your dream, or is this your parents or friends or society's dream, or is this your dream for yourself? Now, there's some exceptions, and awesome, good for them. But most people either have no clue what they want to do in life, or have a false conviction that they want to be a lawyer, a doctor, or something, but that's not innate, and then they'll regret it later. So I think in 20 to 30, just try a lot of stuff. Remove all the barriers of being like rich, and like stop watching a TikTok and Instagram and assume you're a millionaire. Some will be, and that's okay. But like, the point should be to find something you love and you're good at, and it's valuable. I think 30 to 40 is difference between 20 to 30 is that you don't necessarily need to be externally successful yet, at least in the beginning part of your 30s, but you should be focused on something you found. I love the concept, Japanese concept of ikigai, where you look at like stuff that you enjoy, that are valuable for the world, that you're also good at.
How did you just do that? I'm a really good lawyer.
I mean, that's a lot of things in one. But the idea is like, hey, I'm passionate about my kids, but like the kids don't pay for the bills. You need to find something you're talented in, but also something you enjoy. But like find your thing or things. And that also goes for hobbies, not just professionally. This is not just a video about how to make money or plan your career, but life in general. Hopefully in your 30s to 40s, you stay really focused, because this is a time when there's a lot of fluff that happens. People easily get into debt. When they're 20 to 30, they're broke, and it's probably okay to be kind of broke at that age. But at this point, you start making more money or you have more opportunities, but then you spend more. Because you start to get better and better at the thing you do, you're offered a lot of opportunities. People reach out to you and ask you to do things, but you should probably say no to a lot of those things and stay focused. Again, don't expect external success necessarily, even in 30s. And if you're 20 listening to this, you're like, heck, I want to be a millionaire today. At least by 30, I should be worth a lot. Or at the end of the day, maybe you will, maybe you won't. Some do, some don't. But I don't think that's like a good expectation to set for yourself and others. And if it happens, it's more of a byproduct of you being happy and doing what you love and being good at it and working hard versus like the end goal being a millionaire. And if you do this and you just focus on working hard on few things, you will become really good at them really quickly. Like skills and talent compounds really well. So when you find something you love working on and you're good at it and you just keep doing and stay focused, very quickly within the 30s to 40s, you're gonna find all kinds of success, all kinds of success. I think this is across all areas of your life if you just stay focused and committed. And at this point, you're still a beginner in certain ways, but you're a more focused beginner versus 20 to 30s. You're just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. Which takes me to my 40s. Now I'm 40. What now? Well, the truthful answer is I don't know. I'll probably report to you in 5 or 10 years what I think 40s is about. I have an image of what 40s is about. I have an image of what 50s is about. I have an image of what 60s is about. I think 40s is probably the harvest period, but it's also a period where you can run through it without realizing and appreciating along the way. It probably is a decade that goes super, super, super fast. Sure, 20s and 30s go fast because you're having fun, but you also have a lot of repetition versus 40s to 50s. I think like you'll have a routine that will give you a lot of results in different areas of your life, and it's just mattering of stopping and smelling the roses. This is what I assume. I've not lived it, so I'll report to you later. I first thought this video could be like the 40 things I've learned about life, and I had all kinds of funny quotes, like one of the best things about being a conspiracy theorist is that you don't have myocarditis. I thought that would be a little off topic. So I just wrote the top 3 advice that I think is most universal. These are not my funniest or best advice. These are just the most universal things. I wrote 3 things to avoid and 3 things to remember. I'll start with the things to avoid. Worrying. Worrying has helped no one. Let the horses think they got a bigger head anyway. So don't worry, especially about what other people think. I think back to serving in the Finnish military, and I remember like doing a mistake while being a group leader. I'm a sergeant in the Air Force, and I'm like, oh, you gotta read the map, and I make a mistake and we have to do a loop. I bet out of those 40, 50 people that I was leading in the woods with my map, none of them remember that. I'm probably the only one who remembers that.
Kai has returned!
Who?
Kai. General Kai.
People don't remember stuff about you. They care about themselves most of the time. And even if somebody gets angry at you, they're probably angry at the reflection of you. Like you're just the mirror to their anger or feelings. And if you get jealous, that's probably also about someone else, or angry at someone else. That's probably they're just a mirror to you. So like worrying especially about other people is like kind of pointless. It doesn't help you at all. A lot of life advice is easy to understand, hard to execute, but I think it's still worthwhile.
For all my struggles to make my mark in life, for all I've accomplished, in just a few short generations, my name will be forgotten.
What to avoid is taking advice from someone worse than you. Like somebody fitness or health advice from someone who's less fit or healthy than you, or some financial advice from someone who's more poor than you. Now, what's funny about this is that the opposite might not be true, even though what these online gurus and fitness trainers try to make you believe. Like if you go to the gym and you see someone jacked and you're like, that person must know a lot about nutrition and training, it might not be true. They might have just been good genetics, one. Two, they've been very consistent across an average program and they might not teach you anymore. Same as like some people get rich kind of lucky or by randomly and they might not give you any better advice. But what for sure I'm kind of seen over and over again is that don't take advice that don't have the results that you want. Probably where it's most true than anything else is arguing with people online. Like if you're arguing with people online, it is ridiculous. It's like there's a saying that arguing with internet trolls is like playing chess with a pigeon. Whatever you do, even if you're a grandmaster at chess, at the end, the pigeon will knock down the pieces and poop on the board. So there's no benefit, even if you're a grandmaster. So you didn't win. Last thing to avoid is being selfish. I feel like millennials and Gen Z have a big flaw is being very selfish. I've just come to realize over and over again, tough lessons that happiness or pretty much all good things in life are related to relationships with other people, and you get them by serving other things or beings or God, whatever it is for you, but not being selfish. You're so selfish. I think this is probably the most true with your family, immediate family, or your kids, because they're your kids. Like you have to take care of them. And I feel like a lot of people end up not having kids, and then they're very miserable and unhappy. I have a lot of people in my social circle that have a perfect life. They are successful, wealthy, healthy, beautiful, happy, seemingly happy. But at the end of the day, they're empty. They're missing a life partner and a purpose, and often kids. And then at 40, they're like, oh, I need it now. And then some things have passed. I think being unselfish and serving a higher purpose, be it God, be it community, be it a mission much bigger than yourself. Be thankful for your parents. Avoid being selfish is the big one, but I think having kids is the answer to a lot of that. That was what to avoid. Here's things to keep in mind. The first one is that you will have lessons, many, many lessons in life. No mistakes, just lessons. And you keep getting the same lessons until you learn them. And then one day after you've had a lot of lessons and you learn them, you'll get more lessons about something else. They never end. I find it very true. Rather than thinking that you made a mistake or something went wrong, just think of it as a lesson, and they will keep coming and you'll learn from them, and then other lessons will come. And that's just part of life. The other one, which is such a cliche, but you choose what life you want to have. You give the meaning to your life. Sure, like there might be religion and faith and God, and there can be like circumstances of a country and this, but at the end of the day, you choose. You make this final leap to believe in God, to be patriotic, to believe in certain philosophies in life. You make that choice. And at the end of the day, particularly happiness, I feel like it is your choice. There's very interesting studies of people who lose their arm, and some get unhappy because they just lost an arm. Some are happy that they're still alive. And later they progress back to the mean where their happiness was before the accident, like 6 months later. Point being is, at the end of the day, I feel like you choose if you're happy or not. You choose the meaning of your life. Can't always control the outcomes and stuff that happens, but you control what you make of it. And that's a powerful lesson. And my favorite book in this topic is Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. Most people know that book, but it's a book that helped me a lot. And there's a reason why it is popular, is it captures a moment in time of an extreme human behavior through the eyes of an expert. And I just find that very insightful and something we can really learn from. Finally, don't take life too seriously. Nobody gets away with it alive anyway. We're all gonna die. You have the years that you have, and you never know when it really comes to an end, or usually you don't know. It's just a reminder to enjoy the ride. Makes me think of Bill Hicks. It's just a ride. Don't take it too seriously, especially when you get like locked in with consumerism and commercial and work and pressures and this and that. It's just the ride. There's ups and downs, and sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not, but it's just the ride. Don't take it too seriously. Enjoy the time you have here while you have it. You might believe in karma. You might believe in like rebirth and incarnation and this and that. That's cool too, but you have this life, however long it is, enjoy it. And age is merely just a number that you've enjoyed it. And the more you have of these ups and downs, the longer the rope of life is, versus if you have a very flat life, it's a short rope. even if it's the same time horizon versus if you have a lot of ups and downs, you have a lot of experiences. So enjoy life while you have it. That's what I have for you today. I'm turning 40. I'm gonna go celebrate. Thank you for being here with me in this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Leave a comment below your top life advice, or if you disagree or like one of mine, leave a comment below. I'm not gonna be offended. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. It'll be something totally different than this one-off birthday video. Thank you. Bye. Ciao, ciao.